I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana at the Metairie Cemetery, and I'm standing right in front of one of the most unique tombs this cemetery has to offer. This tomb used to belong to a woman named Mary Deubler, better known as Josie Arlington. She was born on February 15, 1864 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Her parents were German immigrants, hardworking but poor. They struggled to make ends meet, and Mary, known to everyone as Josie, grew up surrounded by hardship. By 17 or 18, Josie was desperate to survive on her own. She began working in the city's red light district, a dangerous, lawless part of the town where many young women went when no other doors were open. But Josie was different. She was clever, ambitious, and determined to never be a victim. She learned how to navigate the underworld, and before long, she started running her own place. She opened up her own brothel in 1881. It was a luxurious brothel located at 225 North Basin Street in what would later become known as Storyville, the city's legalized red light district. In the 1890s, Storyville was booming. It was a strange experiment, an area where prostitution was legal, meant to contain vice within one neighborhood. It quickly became a playground for soldiers, gamblers, musicians, and wealthy men looking for trouble. Josie's brothel was among the finest. Her girls wore silk gowns. Her parlor was lit with chandeliers, and champagne flowed freely. She treated her employees with a rare kindness for the era, giving them protection, good pay, and even medical care. Josie wanted to provide that even in a world of vice, a woman could have class, dignity, and power. Behind the glamour of her brothel was a dark and painful story. Before Storyville made her a legend, Josie lived with her brother, Peter Deubler. Peter helped manage her business, a loyal protector and one of the few people Josie truly trusted. But then came Phillips Labarno, who popped up in the picture. Phillips Labarno is Josie's lover. Well, on the night of December 9, 1890, after a drunken argument between Peter and Phillips Labarno, Phillips shoots Peter, who is Josie's brother. This startles Josie and leaves her lover Phillips. Well, sometime down the road, Josie is now with another man named John Thomas Brady, and they then both run off together and stay at the Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And Josie was inspired by its opulent and exclusive atmosphere, determined to create a more refined image. She shed her former notoriety and adapted the name Josie Arlington. Sometime down the road, Josie finally came back to New Orleans in the early 1890s. She no longer wanted to run a traditional brothel. Her brother's tragedy had deeply affected her, and she finally reportedly grew tired of the chaos and violence of the red light life. So Josie turned her Basin Street mansion into a sporting house. For more refined entertainment, somewhat closer to a social club or parlor house than a brothel, she began emphasizing music, dancing, fine dining, and conversation, trying to give her place a veneer of class and respectability. She wanted to move away from raw prostitution and toward what she called gentlemen's entertainment. The women she employed were treated as hostesses rather than working girls, and the men who visited were expected to behave as gentlemen. In 1905, the Arlington was badly damaged by a fire. Following the blaze, Josie temporarily relocated her business to a nearby saloon operated by her friend and political ally, Thomas C. Anderson, the so-called mayor of Storyville. In 1909, she sold her remaining Storyville interests to Anderson and officially retired from the brothel business. She moved into a lavish home on Esplanade Avenue, but did little to earn her acceptance from New Orleans high society. Concerned for her legacy and morality, Josie commissioned an elaborate tomb in the prestigious Metairie Cemetery in 1911, an act that shook the city's elite. The tomb, designed by sculptor Albert Weeblin, featured a distinct bronze statue of a young woman with her back to the rest of the cemetery, seemingly knocking on the door to the afterlife. Josie Arlington died on Valentine's Day, February 14, 1914, and was placed inside the tomb she had so meticulously planned. After Josie's death, her lover, Tom Brady, and her niece, Anne, married and inherited Josie's considerable fortune. However, they proceeded to squander as much of the inheritances. The tomb, a symbol of Josie's defiance, became a tourist attraction, drawing crowds and paranormal rumors, including stories of a red glow and the statue moving. The scandal and depletance inherents promoted her heirs to sell the tomb to another family. In the final indignity, Josie's remains were removed to an undisclosed location within Metairie Cemetery, leaving her tomb empty, save for her enduring legend and the haunting statue on its door. Today, the tomb is owned by this family, and the family is willing to place Josie back into her original resting place if they can relocate her body within the Metairie Cemetery here in New Orleans, Louisiana.
So you see that stop sign right here? There used to be a red light somewhere in this area that would reflect over to her tomb, which is right in the middle of your screen.
Apparently, it was a street light that was reflecting off a reddish glow onto Josie's tomb, making it look like the tomb was haunted. And this caused a lot of unwanted attention.